Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm feeling deep, y'all. And what you get is what your motherfucker. Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and if you're new to the channel, what I'd like to do here is give my thoughts and opinions on trending news around the globe. And with that said, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe, and let's get on with some of these headlines. Are there super soldiers? That's right. This is what I want to talk to you today. I've been watching some of these kind of whistleblower videos lately. It's been a really fun rabbit hole. And some of these people that apparently work in the military development area or department or whatever these, whatever they, their levels of clearances are. Apparently this guy goes by the name of Palmer Luckey. And this individual here goes by the name of the real Tony Stark. That's what people are starting to call this guy. I guess he works for the, like I said, the military development, department. Probably the other things we're not allowed to know about. And this young man is like a super genius. I guess he's graduated college and did a lot of things like at super young age. It's like one of those super geniuses they used for super villainy things. No, because he's part of like our military development. So he's probably making like crazy weapons for us. And one of the things he was out here in this interview talking about and was allowed to tell the public is that he was making these exoskeletons. And I was fortunate to see a form of these a few years back when I worked for a construction company where they were trying to use these for like in the workforce and things like that. But apparently this is more made for military grade and combat type of appliance or applications. That's the word I'm looking for. So apparently these things are very lightweight. They can go onto your like joint areas, and I guess it's more like an assisted. What he compared to is like having power steering on the joints of your body. So you could carry hundreds of pounds and probably still feel some of that weight, but it would be assisted, so you could have more stamina and strength to carry that weight longer and maybe not strain yourself as much or reduce injury. You could run miles, longer and longer distances of time and not use so much energy and still have a lot more energy than you would have if you did it manually. And that's really wild. So we have pretty much like the first version of the Iron Man suit almost, except not that big bulky one. It's like, it's kind of wild when you think about this technology that's coming out so fast. And, we're all excited when we get a new iPhone. We're excited about this. But it's kind of interesting when a normal person can put this on and increase their stamina, speed, and strength. The individual himself in the interview said he wanted to get himself down to like a 7-minute mile because I guess his mile was like more time than that. So with this suit, it increased a normal person that's not trained in combat or trained with military backgrounds. It even increased that person's performance on a track just in running alone. And so that's pretty wild. What can it do for people that have medical restrictions? Maybe somebody that has crutches or physically disabled, and somebody that suffers from stroke or some things like that. Maybe this thing could be used in those kind of things and benefit. But that wasn't talked about too much in this interview. It was more about like the military applications, like I said, making a super soldier. Making the ultimate soldier. And so, the guy that was asking a lot of questions, shout out to Sean Ryan, love that show. He's asking a lot of really in-depth questions, like what about the robots and all this AI development and things like that. And that Palmer Luckey, shot it down right away and said, well, according to what I've been seeing, on the inside, that the military said they're far away from unleashing like AI unmanned robots. They're more interested in making the super soldier. So it's more like probably like a pride thing, like we want to make it with us, we don't need a fucking plug, some shit like that. Who knows? But apparently he says that they're more interested in making like the humans more capable. And it's kind of wild when you think about it. It's almost like kind of like an Iron Man suit, or you're almost trying to make like a Captain America, and then when you get to those conspiracy rabbit holes, they say that, they really have been experimenting on humans and trying to make them with superhuman abilities, but it's not like you want them to have these abilities for, a policeman, You want them for like military so you can, divide and conquer more or something. Who knows? It never seems like it's for a good reason when you see these things. Immediately, we want to go and like help people that have handicaps and disabilities, but they were like, want to disable and handicap other countries and things like that or other territories. It's a different ball game, when it looks like what we want and what they want, you know. So apparently this thing is getting so advanced that they say the future versions of it, which they're probably already doing, will just have connections right to your brain, and you won't even have to think. It'll just be normal motions. You probably won't have to do anything. You probably won't even have to turn it on. They said you won't even have to use applications anymore on your joints. That it would just tell your brain, and your brain will produce this higher performance levels inside your body. I guess naturally or unnaturally, because this thing's going to be shooting this program into you. That's kind of spooky as well. Also, like I said, our military has a lot of advanced little toys here that they're probably itching to try somebody. It's probably why some countries, that have a lot of clearances probably know of these things and, kind of stand clear of that stuff. They push a little bit until they get to a point to where like, okay, these guys are thinking we're going to fight now. We ain't going there, man, and so they end up backing up, or, it's just intimidating when you see some crazy super soldier, running with hundreds of pounds, like miles and miles. It's kind of wild. And what if something like this, because you always see when we invent technology, somebody usually hacks the technology, cracks through the technology, finds a way to get, sneak by things like that, finds a back door, of some sort. And what if these things like, they find their ways to the streets, like all these high-tech weapons, some of these high-tech weapons, or what we thought were high-tech weapons, are making like normal weapons turn into like these fully automatic weapons, or these normal, low capacity weapons into like high capacity weapons. And all these things make it out to the streets really quick. So what if something like this enhancing exoskeleton makes it out to the streets? One day you're out there going to a police officer or something like that's going to go break up a street fight and ends up getting thrown to half the block, gets thrown down half the block because these guys all got super suits on. And you wonder why these guys ain't getting tired and they're just, fighting like, it looks like Superman fighting in the street. And, but what if something like that got into the wrong hands? You hear right now, our government's declaring these drug cartels as terrorists, and these terrorists are saying, bring it, like we ain't scared. And they might want to be careful about that, because for one, they've been surveilled like for years. They haven't jumped on them. Who knows why? Wink, winks. Probably some paydays going around. But, they've been watching these things, so they pretty much know exactly where they are. We watch documentaries all the time. Like, YouTubers go in there, like, we just went into the most dangerous gang neighborhood of Mexico, and these guys just go in there because they're on YouTubes. So, like, we know, like, all the spots, like, and not only that, like, all what the intelligence people have. Then we got intelligence people have, and like the TikTokers and influencers go out there and just get to go there and YouTube and, influence out there and just show the whole spot. But yes, back to like serious note, if it did get into the wrong hands and, some things like this get in, this technology gets into the wrong hands and starts being used for crime and crazy things like that, we could be in some serious trouble here. Like, what if we have to go against, like, some superhero type of villain? We got a super terrorist or the super crime lord because this guy has, like, super strength now, or whatever other stuff we're working on. That stuff could be seeping out, because there was a time where those, little things that are making it out to the streets were just a secret thing, So we should pay attention to these things. And I'll keep some more updates when I get some more of these information on some of these crazy things happening around the globe. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time, see ya.